What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Boleros. We just witnessed Game 3 of the finals for UAAP Season 85. And makikita nyo sa reaction nitong dalawa kung sino ang nagwagi for Season 85. Obviously, champions, Ateneo Blue Eagles, winning
Yeah,
over the UP
boy!
Fighting Maroons. The
Maui
crown is...
called it, baby!
I called
Oo
it.
nga, actually.
Start of the season.
To be
Maui called
fair,
it!
yeah. So to open things, Maui was the only guy who said at the very beginning, Ateneo ang magna-number 1 and Ateneo ang magcha-champion, no? So to be fair, Maui, sabi ni Ange nung interview niya, in Coach Tab we trust, which has been your mantra ever since. So siguro, let's start with you, Maui. Since you called it, how do you feel? Anong pakiramdam mo? Anong pakiramdam mo during the game?
Grabe. Grabe tong game na to. Grabe yung feelings. It's one of sa championships sa Ateneo, I've witnessed every championship since 2002. I would rank this very high sa list ng championships ng Ateneo. And I think one of the main reasons is because Ateneo was really underestimated. Ateneo was really underrated this season by everyone, the players, sila Johnny Winston. I'm calling you out, Johnny Winston. Sila Evan Nelly. Didn't even put Ateneo sa Final Four. But
Sa Final Four.
As my mantra goes, and even si Mike Nieto nag-tweet, nakita ko kanina, after the game, in Coach Tab we trust. Whatever lineup Ateneo puts out, whoever the players play, Coach Tab will find a way to maximize the players. Grabe tong championship na to. And to think 5 months ago, this team faced one of its biggest heartbreakers. I think during the Coach Tab's era, yun talaga yung pinaka-biggest heartbreak. You could argue yung Lasal lost nung first finals appearance during Coach Tab's era was Ateneo really stepping up. Nobody expected them to make the Final Four also nung year na yon. And Lasal had
Underdog
Ben
sila
Embala.
nung
Overachieving
year na
yun eh.
Yes.
Yung overachieving talaga yun eh.
7 players, I think 7 players from Ateneo transferred schools nung season na yon because of academics mostly. But ito talaga, Belangel left, we didn't get a glimpse of Dwight Ramos sa Ateneo. So Ateneo was really, yung ibang tao sinasabi, OA daw mga Atenista na tinawag underdog. But even Johnny Winston and Evan Nelly, I'm calling you out. Didn't put Ateneo sa Final Four. I repeat, didn't put even Ateneo sa Final Four. And they finished the elimination round number 1. And again, went to the finals and faced UP. Speechless ako, guys. Speechless. Ikaw, Gab.
Okay. First time, sige. Let me just talk about some of the points that you mentioned, Maui. First time natin nakitang medyo speechless tong si Maui. Usually marami tong masasabi. You mentioned yung underdog, no? So to be fair, no, maraming tao I think na nagsasabi na hindi dapat underdog yung Ateneo, but I think a lot of the experts, a lot of the players themselves, even kami ni Gab, we're not experts, we're boleros, pero we had Ateneo, we didn't have Ateneo ranked number 1, to be honest. And that's just like us comparing it to the previous team of Ateneo and comparing Ateneo to the other teams that were really talented and really skilled. So, to your point, Maui, sabi mo, this championship has to rank really high among compared to the other championships. I think it's because may underdog story din siya, no? So, I agree there. Na-mention mo yung kay Mike Nieto, I think the vets were there again behind the bench. We talked about them last time. How big of an impact do you think that was for them? Na when after game 1, they decided to visit training, Kai talked about it, and they were there again during this game. How big of an impact do you think that was for the players, especially the first timers who are experiencing this like finals experience for the first time? Let's say guys like Kai Balungay or guys that played limited minutes the last season.
Kahit si David Alfonso.
How big of an impact was that? What do you think?
Ako, I think I'll jump right into it, Agab. I think it was a very big impact, and I think even si Balungay, yung press conference nga na after the game 1 mentioned this. I think without them, we probably wouldn't have won this finals. This is the first championship of Ateneo that they've lost game 1 in the Final Four era. So lahat ng teams na nag-champion before under Coach Joel Manal, under Coach Norman Black, and Tab Baldwin never won a championship when they lost game 1. And I think the older players, yung mga kuya, showing up in practice, especially Will Navarro, who was just diagnosed with an ACL injury. He even went out of his way and went to the practice. I think just understanding the magnitude of the finals, it really gave them perspective on how big the finals is, the type of mental preparation you have. And I think even Coach Tab was surprised. Sinabi ni Coach Tab to sa press conference niya na he wasn't expecting them to be there and he wasn't expecting them to talk. Kasi hindi naman daw talker talaga tong mga to. Ang talagang madaldal lang talaga si Mike Nieto, which is the captain of Ateneo, the past.
Si Big Mike.
The previous championships, yung three-peat. And I think Ateneo really rallied around them. Coach Tab even mentioned, first time to in Coach Tab's era na he mentioned that Ateneo needs support. Ateneo needs a crowd. UP is really good. UP's crowd is wild. He even gave credit kanina. And I think those previous players from those previous championships who've gone into battle as underdogs and as the expected winner really pushed Ateneo to the next level.
Band of brothers talaga, no? Band of brothers.
BEBOB.
Yung camaraderie nila. Okay, Gab. I know you're itching to talk about this game. How do you feel? Let us know. Anong initial reactions mo? Being champs once again.
Oh, I think Maui said it already. This one feels special, man. This one feels special talaga. It's right up there. For me, it's still the most special is still, of course, in 2002. I think that is still top. That's close to my heart, no? I was a little kid.
That's this argument is for another podcast, no? Kung anong most
That
special
broke the barrier.
Blue Ateneo Championship. But go ahead, Gab, go.
Pero yun, yeah, this one feels special. Like what Maui said, it's special because of three things. One, yes, Ateneo is the underdog. Hindi ko gets kung bakit pinaglalaban ng mga taga-UP na underdog sila. Hindi ko talaga gets. Manood kayo ng sarili nyong team. I just don't get it. I'm sorry. It's really funny to me. Why this is an argument. My fiance is looking at you mean right now, but it's true. So that yung like you said, Marin, no one expected us to be here. Si Maui lang, the only Ateneo who expected Ateneo to be in the finals. He was the only one. And my second reason why this is special, we lost game 1. I don't know where I saw this stat. I think it was shown last season 84, or at least around 75% of the teams who win game 1 in the UAAP finals go on to win the series, diba? When UP won game 1 in season 84. I don't know if that stat is accurate. I just remember someone, I think it was Bumo said it, or Nico Ramos on the call, yung someone said it. And Ateneo lost game 1. Diba? And coming back, winning games 2 and 3 is amazing. So, hanggang ngayon, unprecedented. Again, overachieving. Winning games 2 and 3 straight is incredible. And third, why this is also special, because of what happened on season 84. Parang sakit ng talo na yun. On a JD Kagulangan buzzer beater, natalo tayo sa UP. Coming back this season to take back the championship, this one feels special. I was on the edge of my seat the whole game. So that is how I feel. I am ecstatic.
Okay. We have two Ateneans that are speechless and ecstatic. What a surprise, no? Sige, let's talk about the game. I think first quarter pa lang, Ateneo scored 30 points, no? Against, I think UP scored what? Like 12 or
Should have been more.
12 or 14. Funny thing, no? I was talking to my wife right before the game. Tapos sabi ng wife ko out of nowhere, alam mo, feel ko yung team na mananalo, yung team na mag-score ng 30 points in the first quarter. Out of nowhere, sinabi niya yon. So, to my wife for
Unprecedented
predicting,
yun sa UAP.
sabi ko sa kanya, imposible. Wala naman nakascore ng 30 points against like UP or Ateneo kasi top 2 teams yun. Pero, she actually predicted
We
it.
should have scored more.
Okay, Gab, why do you think we should have scored more?
We missed almost every free throw.
Yeah, I think 7 free throws ang
We
namiss
missed
sa first
7.
quarter alone.
We missed 7
Ayun.
free throws in the first quarter.
I think both teams were really bad sa free throws in the end, no? I think si
Yeah.
Tamayo and Dioff consistently the entire finals sobrang lala sa free throws eh. So to be fair, I think like UP missed double digit free throws then if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did also.
Sige,
15 each. Both teams
they-
missed 15 free throws each.
both teams missed
Yeah.
15 each. Okay, so yun. So I
Tamayo
think
and Dioff combined for 5 for 16.
ayun,
Again,
si
this
ano
game.
ko nga sobrang dami nila eh. So yun. So I think tabla yung free throws. Both teams are horrible free throw shooters. I think yun yung one
No,
weakness
but if
ng
we
both teams.
go back to the first quarter, I think that set the tone for the game. No, it was actually Fortsky who started off the scoring, and Ateneo was up, I think 9-0 or
Yeah,
9-0.
9-0.
Or something like
time out.
9-0.
and that was forced more Fortsky Padrigao. Again, I said this in game 1. His maneuvering around the pick and roll,
Yung
talagang-
in and out niya eh, no? Yung mga
in and out,
moves niya.
the way he holds his defender behind him, waiting for the roll to happen, waiting for his spot, looking at open shooters on both corners. Ang galing, pare. And that's how it started, with Fortsky setting the tone. Also, I think the refs set the tone in the first quarter, to be honest. They called it tight. They called every hold, every push. They called everything. And
1
I
hour
think that's
yung
the
first quarter. 1 hour.
Yeah,
Puro review.
exactly. I was talking to my dad. Sabi ko, this first quarter is now an hour long. Puro review, a lot of fouls, so many free throws, and not just on one side. It's both sides. Dave Ildefonso got 2 quick ones. Kai Bulungay, you got a quick foul. Ans Kwame you got a quick foul. And on the other end as well, they were calling it tight. Henry Galinato got 2 quick ones. I forgot who else. James Spencer, I think, got 2. So the refs were calling it tight. Yeah, tagal. And yun, the refs set the tone. And Ateneo, actually, if we're gonna point to a quarter that we talked about game 1, that UP won that game in the first quarter because Ateneo was playing catch up the whole time. This is the same thing for Ateneo. They won the game in the first quarter because UP was playing catch up until the end. I don't think they led. Diba? They never led.
They never
The whole game.
Hindi. But I
Saka
think nanalo sila nung second and third quarter. Pero
They won all
never led.
quarters.
Yes,
They won all quarters except the first quarter. So
Except the
Ateneo-
first ba?
Yeah, except
Okay.
the first. It was too big of a margin.
Okay.
So
sige.
yun, okay, go.
Go, Gap.
Ako, I loved Ateneo's defense and execution nung first quarter. A lot of threes. Shout out, just my takeaway from this game. We always talk about the key. I mentioned this. The key to
Go
this
ahead,
series
key.
is Ateneo's
Correct.
bench.
Keys to the game.
Ateneo's bench showed out today. Shout out to my tokayo, Gab Gomez.
Gab
Gab Gomez, man. 9 points in the first quarter.
Three pointers.
3 3-point shots in the first quarter from Gab Gomez. Off the pine. My goodness sake. So, we talked about it also in in our Game 2 podcast that Ateneo got a lot of bonus points from their bench because their bench sucks. Their bench is the lowest scoring bench in the whole UAAP. And in the first quarter, their bench showed up. Those were bonus points. I think 9 points from Gab Gomez. 2 Daves got up and under against Carl Tamayo. Diba? So, yeah, the bench showed up big time here. And Sean Queteves, pa.
Grabe.
This guy, man. Grabe, yeah. Yung tama, Mao. Yung grabe si Sean Queteves. Throughout the whole season, this guy was a situational player at best. He would be slotted in by Coach Tab in defensive matchups. Just if they need a stop on defense or they need someone to stop a high-scoring guard or wing player, he would put in Sean Queteves. Barely played. Games 2 and 3, played nearly 50% of the game, 50% or more of the game. We talk about the Ateneo culture of next man up. Sean Queteves, man. In Game 2, BJ Andrade was saddled with foul trouble. And this game, David Defonso was saddled with foul trouble. And on both games, Sean Queteves stepped up.
I think just to talk about Sean Queteves, no, I think naging silver lining yun, no, na nagka-foul trouble si BJ Andrade nung Game 2. Sean Queteves was forced to sort of play. Baka kung hindi nagka-foul trouble si BJ Andrade, would Tab have played him that much? We're not sure, diba? But the fact na Andrade was in foul trouble, he had no choice but to play Queteves. And I think that gave Queteves the confidence to play in Game 3 because they won. He did really well in Game 2. Mas may confidence na siya ngayon to play in Game 3. And he made crucial free throw, although he missed the second one, but he made the crucial free throw. So definitely,
Crucial free
I think
throws.
Sean Queteves contributed quality minutes in this game also.
Defensive stops. Go, Mao.
Sorry, just to add to Sean Queteves, yung play niya is not really reflected if you look at just the box score of the game. Probably sa plus minus, he was a plus 10 in 17 or 30 minutes in action. Matthew Davis also a plus 17 in limited minutes. But if you really watch the game, you can see grabe yung effect ng Sean Queteves sa game with those crucial defensive stops, those hustle points. Those are the types of stats that you won't see on the box score. And I think without Sean Queteves, I don't know, Ateneo would have probably been doomed with Andrade playing with on foul trouble nung Game 2 and Ildefonso playing on foul trouble nung Game 3. We flamed the Ateneo bench the whole season. And they delivered Gab Gomez, Matthew Daves, Sean
During
Queteves,
the most crucial point.
During the most crucial point of the season. Kahit si Chris Kun, kahit hindi siya pumuntos ng marami today, you can see the effect. And you can see Coach Tab also having the trust. They really earned Coach Tab's trust itong finals. Si Chris Kun and Gab Gomez closed out the game. If you
I think we lost Maui there.
watch yung fourth quarter. I was wondering.
Hello.
Yeah, sorry.
Hello.
I was
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering the whole fourth quarter. Where's Fortsky? And everyone was wondering. All my alumni groups, my parents, my dad.
He was cramping.
I was cramping
Cramps
again.
ba siya ulit?
He was cramping up.
Kami din eh.
He was
We were
cramping
talking
up.
about it, Maui. Pinag-usapan din namin sa bahay. Nasan si Fortsky?
So cramps na naman pala.
He was cramping up, and eventually in the last 2 or 3 minutes in the fourth quarter, he came to Coach Tab and Coach Sandy and said, "I am
ready to go.
I'm okay. I'm good to go." And he came back. Yun. So that's what happened to Fortsky. He was
Okay. So that answers it.
cramping
Hindi
up
din sa-
again. Cramping up again.
Cramping up again against UP. I think Game 2 lang ata ng finals, hindi nag-cramp si Fortsky the whole season against UP, if I'm not mistaken. But
Well,
you gotta
UP
give it-
defense.
yeah, UP defense, you gotta give credit kala Abadiano. But going back to the point about the two bench players, you gotta wonder where Ateneo would have been especially with Fortsky cramping up all these games, where Ateneo would have been with the pressure defense of UP had not got Gab Gomez and Chris Kun really stepped up ng finals. Especially this game. Gab Gomez was magnificent. Hitting three-pointers. Timely three-pointers, if I may add.
To your point, Maui, I think tama ka, no? Si Chris Kun hindi siya masyado nag-score. But I think, remember, there was a crucial run by UP nung third quarter. And then, JD Kagulangan, umupo kasi si Ange, and then JD Kagulangan was just scoring at will. What Tab did was he brought back Ange, but he also brought in Chris Kun to guard JD Kagulangan at that point. So I think that sort of yung defense pa rin ni Kun on JD Kagulangan. I think it was you, Gab, who called this out nung second round pa lang, how Chris Kun is now like guarding the best point guards of the other team, no? So kahit hindi score si Chris Kun ng double digits, it's his defense against like the top point guards that really help also. I just wanna shift the discussion, no? Kasi
No,
well,
let's shift
kong,
to the UP side.
Exactly, yun nga.
Shift to the UP.
So, alam kong 21 minutes, alam kong masaya kayo, champion Ateneo, but it's 21 minutes in the podcast. Hindi pa natin masyado pinapag-usapan yung UP side. Let's talk first about the first 3 quarters, or gusto niyo na ba mag-jump dun sa fourth crazy
No, let's talk about the first quarter actually. Let's talk about the first quarter.
Okay,
What
go ahead.
contributed to the
Yeah.
slow start ng UP? Mau,
What do you think, Maui?
ano sa tingin mo nang nangyari ng slow start ng UP?
Yeah, I think UP started out really slow. They wanted to get Carl Tamayo into a groove nung start ng game. I think yung first 2 or 3 possessions nila, they really made an effort to make Tamayo try to make a play. But Ateneo's defense was really good nung start ng game. And I think their first basket was a Siley Gonzalez layup from steal. I think Ateneo really controlled yung tempo ng game, and UP was not able to capitalize on some of Ateneo's turnovers. But really, si Carl Tamayo talaga, I mean, if you talk about, he shot 4 for 17 today, but anytime he touches the ball, man, I swear, kahit down
Kabado ka eh.
15, down 20, I mean, kabado ka talaga. Alam mong UP will will UP back into the game. But I really think Malik Diouf really played a wonderful game today. Malaking bawi sa game 1 and 2 blunders niya.
Yeah.
I think the MVP of season 85 really showed out today. He had 9 points, 17 rebounds, and 4 blocks. It's just that Ange Kwame really played an unworldly game again today. And I think nabulabog lang talaga yung UP, similar to Ateneo nung game 1. And I think the UP won the last 3 quarters, but 16 points during the first quarter. I really thought that they made some mistakes na out of character. This was prevalent nung game 2 pa lang actually, when they were losing composure. And I think for me, I've been saying this, I think since the second round or even the first round when UP was struggling, they really missed Richie Rivero and CJ Cancino this year. Having that other playmaker, shot maker, shot creator, aside from Carl Tamayo and it to a T, probably JD Kagulangan, really hurt UP, especially since Ateneo was really humming nung first quarter on both ends of the floor. How about you, Gab?
And let's not forget, UP is missing Zave Lucero in this game. So, I think
Yeah,
they
isa pa yun.
could have used Zave Lucero in this game, to be honest with you. Though, si Henry, siguro yung bright spot din for them. Henry Galinato, I think, showed up. He made up for...
Finally dunked it.
Yeah, exactly. I think redemption arc niya. And that dunk was to keep the game close, diba? Parang like, after that
It
dunk,
was part of the
15
run.
points.
It was part of the run.
Mga puntos si Galinato were all crucial, in my opinion.
Crucial 12 points. So he had like 7 rebounds, 12 points. So, I think Galinato was playing his heart out. That was his last game. I think he was playing for Zave. So, one bright spot din yun for me, si Henry Galinato. before we talk about like that fourth quarter crazy play, Gab,
No,
what are your
let's
thoughts
stay in
on
let's
UP?
stay in the first. Let's stay in the
Yeah,
first. I do have a few points
go.
in the first quarter actually. Maui, you pointed it out. The defense of Ateneo was top notch. It was simple in the first quarter. Ateneo was hitting shots. UP was not, because they were both missing free throws. You cannot blame the free throws for the big lead of Ateneo, because Ateneo didn't hit barely hit any of their free throws. So it was really Ateneo hitting their shots, and UP not hitting theirs to start the game. That's a credit to Ateneo's defense. And we talked about this in game 2. That baseline wall, that baseline inbound wall that Ateneo puts up, UP did not break it again in this game. It led to, I think, 2 or 3 turnovers in the first quarter. That same defense that they ran in game
Zone
2, they ran it
defense.
again today.
Yeah.
That
Tinawag mo
zone
nga yun,
defense,
yeah.
it's essentially ano pare,
Zone inbound.
they essentially put a line in the baseline, and it only works when Ange Kwame is there because he's so long. So the inbounder has no other choice but to make a lob or a baseline pass. A baseline pass to the corner. Those are his only options. And the lob is difficult because there are 2 players guarding the lob. I was watching it and I was like, this is genius. They still have not broken it. They still don't have a counter for it after 2 and 1 game in 1 quarter. They still don't have an answer for it. So that was amazing coaching. And UP started off in a press, a zone press, which led, I think, to 2 or 3 threes plus a Kai Balungay layup. So kudos to Coach Tab. Came prepared in the first quarter. So that led to the big lead. And as I said earlier, that Ateneo won the game the first quarter. And Coach Tab, just the mind of Coach Tab, pare. In Tab we trust. Grabe. Okay, you guys want to move on?
Okay. So, kung ano yung lamang ng Ateneo, alam mo, sabi ko na nga ba mangyayari to no? So, we all talked about this. Every Ateneo UP game in the past 2 seasons has been close. So, what was the biggest lead? 20 points was the biggest lead. And this is probably one of the biggest margins, if not the biggest margin in any Ateneo UP game this season. And yet, UP got to as close as 3 points at the end of the fourth quarter. So, let's talk about that second half run naman for Ateneo and UP. What sort of like caused that run for, I think, first run for me, yung end of the second quarter. I think they almost got it to
Before we move on,
single
Sam.
digit. Go ahead.
Before we move on, we forgot to give a shout out to the baby boy Gio Chu for hitting a 3.
Wait, I was going there, Gab. Wag mo akong
Okay,
unahan.
sorry.
So, I'm gonna go there. Kasi I think yun yung first run, di ba? That was the first run of UP nung pandang end ng second quarter. I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe they got it to single digits or like 10
6.
points.
6
Then
points.
yung end nung second. So, end nung second parang
9.
10.
9
Yeah,
points, I
9
think.
or 10.
Yeah, 9
And
points.
Gio Chu hits a 3-pointer out of nowhere. Shout out
First
to Gio
make niya.
Chu. I think yun lang ba na-score niya? Or
No, he scored the free throw.
4 points siya. He scored the free throw.
Yeah, the free throw.
So, I think that's his first 3-pointer of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I think isa yun sa mga pamatay sunog, no? And then after that play, I think si Fortsky may buzzer beater mid-ranger that kept the distance for Ateneo to end that
15
second.
points.
But there was a UP run nung second quarter. And I think that's one of the reasons why UP won that quarter by 1 point. Yun. So, Gab, I was gonna give Gio Chu a shout out.
Sorry.
I got
Akala ko
him.
nakalimutan mo eh.
Ano pa yun?
Alam ko nakalimutan mo si
Ano pa
Gio
yun,
eh.
After pa yun, gumano ni Galinato sa kanya. Not-shoot niya yung 3-pointer. That was coming off
Oo, yeah.
Na minama talaga
tama,
si Galinato.
Hindi ko maalala yun.
Gumanon pa si Galinato nun.
Flex
Tapos
nga
ginulit
pala
niya si
siya.
Galinato. Bigla siya pull up ng 3-pointer from the top of the key. Even Larry reaction,
Tinuturo-
if you watch the game, even the reaction of Larry Fonacier was really hilarious.
By the way,
He parang,
credit to... Oh, go, Maui. Go, Maui.
go ahead. Go, Sam.
Hindi, I just wanna say credit to Larry Fonacier, no? Sobrang, talagang may kita mo napaka-genuine nung reaction niya. Yung, what the hell? Parang sobrang shock siya sa mga nangyayari. But, I was very entertained by Larry's, commentating. Sige, what are your thoughts naman dun sa second half? Let's go to that second half. I think UP cut it to 6 nung second half naman. So, that was the closest they got. Nung third quarter. That was the closest they got. Ange Kwame got into foul trouble. That's when they sort of started their run. Any thoughts?
That was a JD
Maui.
Kagulangan and James Spencer led run.
Spencer.
Those two. And Malik Juf on the defensive end.
Tsaka rebounds. Grabe.
Maui highlighted it.
With every rebound.
Yes. Malik Juf was a beast on defense. As in, a freaking beast. Contested everything at the basket. Talagang, he's a tower of power there, si Malik Juf. Deservedly the MVP just for his defense alone. But on the offensive end, it was JD. JD was more aggressive. He was pushing the pace, was driving to the basket, finding James Spencer for open threes, getting acrobatic layups. That was a JD Kagulangan. Carl Tamayo didn't do much actually in that run.
Yeah.
It was just JD and James Spencer.
Actually, just to add to Gab about Carl Tamayo, when UP was going on the run, Carl Tamayo was on the bench, I think, getting treatment on his ankle. Parang yun yung sabi sa commentary sa TV eh. But yeah, I think very critical for UP, Ange Kwame picking up his David Alfonso not starting the third quarter. Sean Kitevis started the third quarter and scored the first basket. And Ange Kwame picked up an early third foul, I think, in third quarter. That really contributed
Yes.
to UP making their run. Ateneo wasn't making their threes na on third quarter. Unlike the first half, I think they shot pretty high, parang close to 60%.
Bolungay could not get anything to go.
Yeah. I think
And he had a bunch of
attempts.
threes in that third quarter.
Mga tatlo yun eh. Tatlo, I think.
Tsaka I think, Gab, itong portion na to talaga, this contributed to, well, you said sa kanina sa podcast, Fortsky Padrigao again suffered cramps. I think yung Ange Kwame and David Alfonso off minutes nung third quarter was really tough on him. He was forcing up shots, 3-pointers. He was making some, but actually, Fortsky Padrigao shot 16 shots in 19 minutes of play kanina. And I think most of those shots came nung third quarter because UP was really able to adjust, especially sa defensive side. Malik Diouf was imposing inside. Their defense at the perimeter was
They played the passing lanes pretty well talaga.
They played the passing lanes pretty well.
Fortsky could not unload the ball to anyone. Yung off the screens, off the cuts. They couldn't, he couldn't throw it to anyone.
Shots, no?
Yeah, he was forced to take the offense yung by the reins and just,
naging hero ball.
Kind of forced talaga siya eh.
Yeah, I think just one note lang, I think may isang very very crucial shot si Fortsky yung isang floater niya na 3-point converted to a 3-point play. That was the start of the run.
Although he missed the free throw.
I missed the free throw. Yeah.
I missed the free throw.
I think it has to be highlighted. The second half was a different ball game. UP was really humming on both ends. And I think a huge part of it was really Ange Kwame picking up his third foul. If you look at the box score of posted by Pong Ducanes sa Twitter, you guys can check him out. He's a statistician of UAAP. Kwame played 30 minutes, but he was a plus 22 in 30 minutes.
Plus 22.
Imagine that. That means that Ateneo was leading by 22 points when he was playing 30 minutes. And the 10 minutes he wasn't playing, Ateneo probably lost more than double figures. And I think that's really, if you talk about Malik Diouf in foul trouble in game 2, that was very critical to Ateneo. Ange Comey picking up his third foul very early was very critical into the UP run. But really, to give credit to them, I think Ateneo is very known for their third quarter runs. But UP really turned the page in third quarter. I was hoping as an Ateneo fan that Ateneo was really gonna be humming again in third quarter. But UP was really good, especially especially JD Kagulangan and James Spencer hitting those crucial 3-pointers.
Yeah. Go ahead, Gab.
And we talk about that run, no? They cut it down to 56-50. And then this play happened. Well, I think
So
everyone
okay,
knows
I
about
was
it.
getting there. Yeah, I was getting there. So wait, before you go to the play, Gab. So credit lang to Coach Tab. After that run, when they cut it down to 6, Tab brings back Ange, no? Despite the 3 fouls, it's still the third quarter. He took that risk to bring back Ange, and I think that was a good
And Chris Kuhn.
risk. And Chris Kuhn, no? So we were talking about it. He brought back the 2 defensive guys because Kagulangan was really just laying up at will. So I think it really helped na bumalik si Ange bigla and then he put Kuhn on Kagulangan. Pero meron tayong turning point or pamatay sunog dun sa run, which I think Gab is alluding to. So Gab, go ahead. What
Yeah,
play are you talking about?
Yeah, it was it was a possession where Ateneo was going nowhere on offense, and which led to Hail Mary shot by Gab Gomez and Henry Galenato. For the life of him, I don't know why he contested that hard to Gab Gomez shooting a 3. The cardinal rule pare on defense, don't foul a jump shooter.
Yeah.
Diba? You contest just in front, you know. Yung dribble stuff, you practice that during practice, yung how to close out. And it was a bad closeout. It was a foul. And we got an unsportsmanlike foul on JD Kagulangan. Essentially throwing his butt out underneath Ange Kwame. I'm sorry.
Tinawagan na rin.
Mga UV fans. I'm sorry, but that's an unsportsmanlike foul. You can't do that. You can
Yeah, so just to
seriously
explain,
harm.
Gab, dun sa mga people who maybe, let's say, not, parang didn't get to see the play, parang, or would argue na, he was just boxing out. He was just trying to box out a taller guy. Why is that an unsportsmanlike foul? Explain mo na lang din for
So
that.
it's a sportsmanlike foul because it's pretty dangerous for the player that you're hitting. It can be misconstrued na it's a normal box out play, but JD obviously put his butt out. Now maybe his butt is just really big, which it is.
Malaki siya eh.
Malaki siya. But yeah, it's a dangerous play, pare. You could go.
And to those that might argue, no, to be fair to the officiating, they've been very consistent with that call. I think this season yun or last season, si Joaquin Manuel was called for the same play against Ange Kwame. Sticking out his both seasons ba? Both seasons
yung
natawagan si Joaquin Manuel?
Last season was on Ange Kwame. This season, I think he did it on an NU player in the backcourt. He held the ball, stuck his butt out, so that the defender would fly over him. Joaquin Manuel does it a lot. Actually,
Okay, so to be
I think 2 more instances he did it.
Ayan. So,
Memorable
as an
talaga.
example siguro to the people listening or watching this episode, yun, I think it's a consistent call naman that they do call on other players also. So,
Pag nahuli.
yeah, go ahead, Gab.
So that possession was essentially a 4-point possession. I think Ange missed the
5 points dapat pero Ange missed the
One free throw.
second or first free
The
throw.
first
Yeah.
one, I
think.
So, naging 4-point
So that made a 6-point lead, a 10-point lead. And I think they extended it to around, or no, they cut it down to 8. So heading into the final quarter. So 60-52, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 60-52 heading into the fourth quarter. Big play talaga. And kudos to Gab Gomez, ha? Swishing 3 free
Thinking
throws.
3 free throws. Oo nga. Bagong hero
Not
na yan si
taking
Gab
any
Gomez.
time. Like, just getting it and then shooting it. Diba?
Shooters gotta shoot.
Yeah. In fairness kay Gab Gomez, man. Played a big game.
So I think yon. So I think nung second quarter, I feel like for me the trend is Ateneo has had an answer for every UP run, no? Nung second quarter when UP was doing their run, we ended with that Gio Chu 3-pointer plus a Fortsky jumper at the to end the quarter. Etong third quarter, UP got it down to 6. We bring in back the defensive guys, Ansh and Chris Kuhn, and then we do get that play. Gab Gomez sinking the 3 free throws, and then si Ansh then also sinking 1 free throw. Let's get to the fourth quarter. If you think that quarter was crazy, I think I can say for sure in the entire season of the UAAP, the fourth quarter of this finals was the craziest fourth quarter ever. Um, so UP made another run. Now, take us through that run, Maui. How did UP get akala mo panalo na, pero UP got to within 3 with like what, a little over a minute to go?
Actually,
Ano nangyari doon, Mau?
you have to give credit really to UP. Being down as many as 16 points, I think, in first half, and then even 20 in third quarter, they could have easily folded and just gave away the championship with Ateneo. Even losing Lucero was big. Clearly, they missed his energy and all. But UP really willed their way into the game in fourth quarter. And I think huge props again to Harold Alarcon. Harold Alarcon has played a magnificent finals. Itong fourth quarter talaga, umataw talaga siya, especially that 3-point shot off a missed free throw shot off balance. Larry Fonacier was losing his mind when he hit that shot. And I think as a fan of Ateneo and as a casual fan of UAAP, grabe talaga when you're up against a team like UP, talented, plays with the heart, has a great coaching staff. Coach Gold really did the masterful job ng second half. It's crazy. Lagi namin pinag-uusapan to. It's not usual that you feel very nervous when you're up big. When you're up 15 points, when you're up 20 points, and you're facing Carl Tamayo, you're facing UP, you know that they will try. You know that they will do their best to get back into the game. And I think Ateneo really could have closed out the game easily. They were leading by I think 7 points when David Delfonso got 6 points when David Delfonso got. No, it was 7 kasi 'di ba 4
7.
points.
7.
4-point swing yung kay
70 to 63.
7.
70 to
Tama.
63. And Ateneo broke the press. David Alfonso got the ball after. And he could have easily lobbed the ball or passed it to Ange Kwame. Ange Kwame would have dunked the ball. Wide open.
Right under the basket.
Brain fart yun. Brain fart.
Yeah, brain fart. He happens to turn over the ball and then he closes out badly on Harold Alarcon. He shot fakes and he gets David Alfonso on the fake and gets 3 free throws. Gab was mentioning kanina, he never fouled a jump shooter. And I was praying when UP was making their run, hopefully Ateneo doesn't make the mistake again.
Okay, so you talked about that play. And that was, I think, like what? Three mistakes by Dave Ildefonso. Kasi we talked about all the Ateneo players that did well in this game. I think we have to also call out the players that didn't sort of show up. And we talked about Dave. Sabi natin, Dave hasn't been that good against UP in the finals. He's had good games during the first round and the second round, pero he hasn't been that good against UP in the finals this season and in last season. And he wasn't, obviously, the whole game, he wasn't shooting it really well. UP defended him really well. But it was so anticlimactic for me for Dave's career to end that way na he broke the press, he had an open Ange Kwame under the basket, decides to hold it, pull it back, then turns, so that was the first mistake, turns the ball over, and then fouls Harold Alarcon for a three-point play, and then he fouls out. Anong assessment mo kay Dave Ildefonso in this game, Gab? Like, what are your thoughts?
Bolero.
He couldn't get anything to go.
Bolero
Foul
of the
trouble
game,
was definite. Foul trouble definitely cost him, and they were taking tack fouls, but the refs were calling it like the whole game. Well, you can't blame the refs for that. They called it both ways. But yeah, that play was, in fairness to him, when he was trapped, he was fouled probably 3 or 4 times. But they didn't call it. But Dave should have launched it to Ange. Dave should have given it to Ange for an easy dunk or a layup. He probably didn't see Ange. In fairness to him, I think when he caught it, he was thinking, let's waste time. But he probably did not see Ange wide open underneath. And yeah, that closeout was pretty bad. And ito lang kay Harold Alarcon, nung third free throw niya, I think siya lang nag-isip na i-miss yung free throw. Sinadya niya yun. But I think siya lang nag-isip.
Halata,
He's surprised.
Mababa.
He surprised even his own teammates. Yung kahit yung teammates niya, yung nagulat na yun yung ginawa niya. So he did it himself. In fairness to him. Thinking on the fly for himself. Wow. Grabe, what a play.
Tama. I think na-shock lahat. Kaya siya lang yung naka-rebound nung miss free throw niya. Because no one was expecting it. And obviously, Maui mentioned it. The craziest shot of the game, I would say. Harold Alarcon twisting his body to... And he had the presence of mind na mag 3-point shot, like behind the 3-point line. That was a miracle play to cut down the game to 3 points. Buti na lang na-miss niya yung second free throw din niya, no? Imagine if he had made that free throw also. 2-point lead na lang Ateneo. 2-point lead na lang Ateneo. Okay, so let's talk about
3-point lead. 3-point lead.
Yeah,
Hindi. Kung na-shoot niya yung second free throw din, it would have been 2-point lead na lang instead of 3.
Dangerous style
and
na.
obviously, it was still a very nerve-wracking and close game all throughout. But I think for me, what a great ending to see BJ Andrade close the game with seal the game basically with his game-winning free throws. And the veterans from the previous championship teams cheering him on. Remember si BJ Andrade, ito yung bangkong player na ipapasok ni Coach Tab kapag medyo garbage time na, and people would always, in a 30, would always look for him, let him shoot a 3-pointer just so that he can add some points to his stats during those games. And I think it was BJ who sort of tweeted or promised that they would bounce back after that heartbreaking loss last season.
And remember, he in the third of the 3 championships, he was out with an ACL injury. ACL tear. So
BJ
in the first 2
coming back
championships, he was
from an
basically
ACL.
not playing at all. And then when he finally got the starting job, yung playing time, saka sila natalo sa UP.
Yeah, and he was supposed to leave, remember? I think nasama siya dun sa mga supposedly gagraduate na eh. I think he was supposed to leave, but then at the last minute decided to come back. So what a great story for BJ Andrade being able to seal the game with that with those game-winning free throws. And si Sean Quiteves also made that one more free throw. But what are your thoughts, Gab?
cold-blooded, like what Boom Gonzalez said on the call. Those were cold-blooded free throws. And I think in the interview after, he said it was routine. Like, wow! Really cold-blooded.
Routine lang yun sa akin.
Routine. But that's kind of true, no? That should be your mentality. Yung going in those were big free throws. Yung going into to extend the lead to 5. And really, when you're a player, that's how you think of it. I've done this thousands of times before during practice. It shouldn't be any different now. And kudos. It might sound a bit arrogant when he says that it's routine and all that, but actually that should be the mindset of every player you coming into those free throws. It's kind of ironic also that free throws sealed the deal for Ateneo when they couldn't hit any to save their life in this game. But I do want to go, Sam, to the following play, because I think that following play was an example of coaching excellence for Coach Tab Baldwin.
Sige, break it down for us.
So, Ateneo was up by 5, 72 to 67, and it was a timeout, I think, with 12 seconds remaining. Yeah, 12 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
And UP had a sideline inbound, and Coach Tab did a Jeff Napa to Coach Gold. If you remember, our loss to NU in round 2, it was BJ inbounding the ball. Coach Jeff Napa went to a zone when Coach Tab's play was for a man-to-man. The same thing happened in this game. UP's play was set up for a man-to-man defense. Coach Tab set up a 2-3 zone out of the timeout. If you can really see the play, they were running down screens for Harold Alarcon and Terence Fortea. But the problem is, it was a zone, so they weren't screening anyone. So they screened the guys underneath the zone. But when you go out of the screen, there's another guy there because the other guy's not following. It's not the man. Coach Tab pulled the Jeff Napa on Coach Gold. Coaching genius, pare.
In Coach
Learn
Tab,
from your mistakes.
In Coach Tab with
Learn
trust.
from your mistakes.
Yes. So, and it forced Harold Alarcon to launch a 3. The only way he could get open was to get it way out because there was a zone.
Yeah.
I think it was Sean Keteves and Kuhn, or was it Fortsky? I forgot. Sorry. Just correct me. Who were there guarding a 3-point line. So the only shot he could really take was from way out. And coaching genius from Coach Tab, man. Calling it. Doing a Jeff Napa. So,
Okay.
and that basically sealed it.
Yeah,
Seals the
actually,
game.
just to add lang dun sa endgame kanina. Yung I was mentioning kanina, yung when Harold Alarcon hit that off balance, twisting his body 3-point shot, it really gave me nightmares. It reminded me sort of yung shot ni JD Kagulangan last in season 84 when he also shot an off balance shot from a rebound that really gave UP closer to the game. And I think after that, CJ Cancino also hit a shot from the top of the key that tied the game.
Yeah.
So it was really giving
Off
me
the glass.
goosebumps, nightmares. I really thought that UP was really going on a miracle run. And to add naman to the ice-blooded free throws of BJ Andrade on Ateneo side, it gave me another memory naman. If you remember, back when
Nieto.
Ateneo won its first championship under Coach Tab Baldwin, Matt Nieto was tasked to hit 2 free throws to seal the game. And his dad was the one, the camera panned to his dad, and his dad was the one that was saying, isa pa. And kanina, it was magnificent because the camera, for some reason, panned out to the Ateneo bench, behind the Ateneo bench, and Matt Nieto was the one saying naman, isa pa. And it really reminded me, it just gave me goosebumps nung, ang galing nung, for some reason, ang galing nung cameraman talaga for taking off. I mean, why would you think of to take yung shot sila Matt Nieto and sila Mike Nieto for that shot? But it really reminded me of Ateneo's first championship under Coach Tab Balduin.
That's a
And-
great angle, Maui. Go
Just add lang for the experience. Out of
Galing,
body
Maui.
experience
Galing.
for both
Sobrang
sides.
galing. And I do wanna give it's kind of a comedic moment, but also a timely moment. When BJ Andrade stole the ball from Terence Fortea and Ateneo celebrated, but eventually got called for the technical
Ay,
kasi they
nako.
cleared the bench.
Ay, nako.
Sila Delphi Delfonso yun. Tumakbo na sila to the court.
Oh, hindi pa. Pinatagalan nila yung game eh. Sobrang bad trip yun.
It was anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was
Yung nga,
yes, but
climactic for Ateneo, but it was timely
Yeah.
for UP because they could bring in Zave.
Zave Lucero, yeah. So, it was annoying, but nung nakita, nagre-reklamo actually ako nun. Sabi ko, ano ba to? Ba't pa nila pinapatagal? Like, di ba, they didn't start agad eh, di ba? They nag-huddle pa yung Ateneo, nag-huddle yung UP. So, nire-reklamo ko, ba't ang tagal? Ganyan.
Review na
And
naman.
then
0.7
Zave.
na lang.
Oh, tapos naglakad na si Zave. That was a very touching moment, no? Kahit na, UP really missed out on Zave in this game, pero that was a good way to end it for Zave. Na
Yeah,
kahit hindi siya
maganda
nakalaro,
moment.
kahit talo sila, he was able to go in. He almost missed the free throw, by the way. Parang nag-bounce pa ng onte.
But kudos to him.
yeah,
He was warming up.
Yeah.
Freaking
Nakita-
hell!
Sabi ni Maui. I think it was Maui.
How many days was that? Monday, Sunday, 4 or 5 days after tearing your ACL? And then you're warming up, jogging, taking shots? What the hell, man? You should be resting.
That's true. So,
Grabe.
Warrior talaga.
um,
Warrior si Lucero.
Warrior, tama.
And-
tama.
And talk about
Maui.
Face with heart.
sportsmanship and respect. Both sides, both crowds cheered Zave Lozero on. And I think that's a sign of utmost respect talaga for what Zave has done for UP. Because there was no booing, there was no jawing. It was purely respect for Zave. We all know that it could have been better if he was there. Because you always want to see the best players play. I don't think you don't want I don't think you'd want to see a player like
Hurt.
Zave to be ruled out of game 3, especially 6 to 12 month injury yung like an ACL player. But yeah, a great scene. Timely nga, sabi ko, timely. Funny for Ateneo, but timely for UP that they were
Pero
able
UP
to put Zave in the game.
Actually, nagulat ako nung last play. UP also picked up a technical foul. I don't know why. Or
I don't know.
BJ
I think that was the
foul.
foul.
The foul. Sorry. Yeah.
Alarcon grabbed BJ for a foul, which stopped the clock at
Yeah.
0.7. So, akala natin woo! Got called a technical foul. Actually, when I saw the game clock, I was telling my dad, I think madi-delay of game tayo. We can't do this. There's still time.
Actually,
Kasi naman,
just to add
kasi
that,
naman
just
yung
to add,
ref eh. Ba't pa niya tinawagan ng foul si Alarcon? Wala nang time.
wala nang time, tsaka wala nang bearing for the game. Actually, just to add dun sa mga crazy moments na nangyari kanina, there was this one JD Kagulangan free throw. He was supposed to shoot 3 free throws. I don't know if you guys remember it. When he missed the second free throw, he immediately asked for the ball and went for a layup. I don't know if you remember that.
That's also a funny moment.
Yeah.
That was also
Kala
a
niya-
funny moment.
I
Yeah,
think kala
it
niya
was.
2-point field goal no?
He was fouled shooting a corner 3 when he kicked out his leg, and he thought that he would only get 2 free throws, and it was funny because he thought that let's give me the ball, shoot it, and everyone was standing out like, what? Everyone his teammates were also, huh? It was a pretty funny moment also. JD Kagulangan, man. The ultimate opportunist.
One of the weirdest finals games ever, but that was still an exciting game kahit na natambakan yung UP all throughout. Kudos to the team for fighting despite missing out on basically Zave and and
Fighting Maroons
CJ
talaga.
Cancino. Oh, fighting Maroons talaga lumaban until the end.
In-
Heartwarming end to Zave's career. Let's talk about the graduating players. Maui, meron kang nabasa kanina about Dave. So Ateneo, I think UP side, it's Brix Ramos, Zave Lucero, Spencer, and Galinato. Tama ba?
Spencer will return. Spencer said he will return. Apparently, he's nursing.
Okay.
He's been playing through an injury throughout the year, but he will rehab it, I think, in Australia, and he will return for the next season.
Okay, so Spencer will be back. So big ano yun, key player for UP next season. And then for Ateneo, sino ang mawawala? Dave, BJ, Kwame,
Then I'm not really sure, to be
Davis?
honest. Kitevis probably.
Jacob
and
Lau.
Si Lau. Jacob Lau is
Lau.
gonna be a
Yung-
consultant. of
Because
Phoenix.
he's now the team manager for Converge.
Converge
So
ba? Converge.
He's obviously retired.
Yeah, 100.
Just a side note in the fourth quarter. I don't know if you saw this, but Coach Gold went with a really big lineup of Juve, Galinato, and Tamayo at one point. There was. He brought out that lineup, and then he changed it towards the end. He changed it to a Juve and 4 guards lineup. I think it was Gonzalez, Abadjano, Kagulangan, and Spencer during the end. So shuffling his players, man. Coach Gold. I actually thought I told you this, Sam, when we had the Xavier Zero update. I actually was hoping that he'd have a magic hugot of some sort. Like, pull out a random bench player to...
RC Kalimag, ganun.
Kala ko
like,
actually,
like an RC Kalimag.
kala ko
oh.
si Terpulas actually will step into the play.
Ako rin, oh.
Yeah.
Yung sabi mo kay Sam, I thought he would bring out some random dude. Mapaka si Tergulas, to play some spot minutes. But, he stuck with his guns. See, he stuck with his guns.
Surprisingly,
Although I would have
he
loved
played his main
to
players
see that
lang,
twist.
Oo.
Yeah,
He
he
plays
plays
every
main
minute.
except for
players.
Bismarck
Limited
Lina.
minutes lang
Every
din yung
minutes.
mga ibang bench players eh.
Kagulangan.
Si
Kagulangan
Bismarck
also-
Lina lang yung...
Si Bismarck Lina lang, tama. Si Kagulangan actually,
Like Sina
also
Fortea had
experienced
limited
gaps.
minutes also. Gonzalez had limited minutes.
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly.
Kasi sila Kagulangan played more than 30 minutes. Si Kagulangan actually was also experiencing cramps
Cramping.
in fourth quarter. Si Diouf played 30 minutes. I think si Tamayo rin also. And si Spencer, parang
Spencer
I was
ata.
shocked. Parang he played 34 minutes ata. So he rested parang 6 minutes lang nung game. So
Spencer played a hell of a game.
yeah.
This guy,
think-
man,
I
just
think-
continues to kill Ateneo.
I think pumangit lang yung percentage niya nung bandang dulo when they were chucking 3-pointers. But before that, he was doing really well actually.
Grabe yung mga
Yeah.
3-pointer niya.
Actually, I do want to point that out, Sam. I do want to point it out. In the fourth quarter, when the lead was single digits already, we pointed this out in game 2. UP was going for a lot of home run plays. I
called it out.
didn't
Si
think
Bong
they
Gonzalez
needed to.
mentioned it also.
Yeah, I didn't think
Right.
they needed to. There were 3 or 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes on the clock. They could have gotten better shots, just 2-point shots and cut it away because Ateneo was not scoring.
Yeah.
So,
Pero actually,
diba?
yeah, just to add lang, Gab, I want to point out lang na UP cut the lead to 5 off a James Spencer 3 off the timeout. Ang ganda ng play talaga eh. I was really amazed with the
Yeah.
play. I think nag-elevator screen nata sila to get
Yeah, yung nag-elevator screen sila. Patas nagka-confusion si Andrade and si Kai Balungay on who was
Kai
supposed to take
Balungay.
the on who was supposed to take the shooter.
That was
So
off
James
a
Spencer was
timeout.
wide open.
Wide open, top of the key 3, no? Si James Spencer to cut the lead to 5 from 8, I think. 3 minutes
If you
to go.
remember, yung 3 minutes to go. If you remember, it's a pretty similar play to what Coach Gold ran in. I forgot if it was game 1 of the finals or the 13-1 game of season 84. They ran the same play for James Spencer. If you remember, James
I
Spencer
think I remember that
hit
play.
a 3 Off that
What he
same
did.
play, that same elevator screen to get James Spencer free. Great play by Coach Gold. Great play.
Iba talaga. Coach Gold and Coach Tabu really masterclass in coaching sa finals. Credits to both of them.
Okay.
I think, Sam, you wanted to
Anything
talk
else
about
you
yung
wanna...
graduating players. I think you
Yes,
wanted to talk
okay.
about yung graduating players.
Okay.
So
in
I do want to go
particular,
first to Ange
in
Kwame. I
particular,
think we have to.
Ange Kwame.
Oh.
Okay, sige. Let's go to Ange Kwame, who Maui called the greatest foreign student athlete in the UAAP of all time. And I think with this championship, we can definitely say that. What do you think, Gab?
Oh, definitely, pare. Finals MVP deserved. There is no one else. We live or die. We lived or die with Ange Kwame these past 4 seasons, and grabe the heart, the hustle, the leadership of Ange Kwame.
The humility.
I'm-
The humility
the
of Ange
humility,
Kwame.
yes, of
The
Ange
sacrifice
Kwame.
also.
Yes, everything, pare. He was showered with MVP chants throughout the whole game, and really he played like an MVP. If you remember, yes, they cut the lead to 5. Then Ange Kwame had a putback off a Chris Kuhn
3-point
drive.
play.
Diba? You remember that?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I do want to give kudos naman to Chris Kuhn. He scored 0 points. But
No, he scored 4. He had a 3-pointer.
4 points, 4 points.
yeah, okay. He scored 4 points, but he was attacking the basket a lot and drawing Malik Juf to him, which led to a lot of Ange Kwame. And Ange Kwame put back, and I think also a Dave Ildefonso, the only field goal by Dave Ildefonso. So, but yeah, Ange Kwame, pare, can't say anything. What do you have? 19 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks. Amazing, pare. And off that offensive rebound, he got a block on the other end.
On Carl Tamayo,
Amazing.
that
On Carl
kudos
Tamayo.
din to Kwame after getting that third foul, sitting down and coming back. Hindi natin siya nag-foul, no? So he only had like 3 fouls, if I'm
Hindi na.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
he
he stayed in the game without fouling. And Gab, dun sa putback na yun, I think he was also fouled. He got like an
3-point
end
play,
one
yeah.
play.
3-point play.
3-point
Tapos
play, and he made those free throws.
Spencer foul.
He made those free throws, despite being a poor free throw shooter, he was clutch when it mattered the most. So kudos to Ange Kwame. I wish him all the best. I hope that he still gets an opportunity with Gilas. He's really just a great
should.
guy also.
And I think he mentioned, no, and Maui yung posted it also. This guy was playing through pain the whole season. And I think he mentioned it also in his post-game interview.
Yes.
It hurts, and it's sabi niya, and maybe when I go home later, it's gonna hurt again. This guy, grabe. What is he? A partially torn MCL and a partially torn ACL. Playing through that
the whole season.
and the whole season. And Coach Tab said it in his post-game, diba? He sent the MRI to his physician friends in New Zealand, the doctors for the Tall Blacks, and said, and the doctor said, this guy is playing? Yeah. What? Grabe. Wow. This guy should be in a lot of pain. And,
he's a dog.
I can't imagine the pain he goes through each time he plays those big minutes. Ibang klase, man. Hat off talaga to Ange. Salute to Ange Kwame for the 4 years he gave us.
And to Dave, didn't really pan out yung game na to. Sabi nga natin, he was one of the maybe the boleros of this game for Ateneo, but he can finally call himself a champion. And to be fair to Dave, he decided to come back from NU. Obviously, Ateneo High School siya. Nag-NU siya to join his brother and his father. Decided to come back to NU to train under Coach Dab. And that's what he said, diba, when he was interviewed. Sabi niya, I went to Ateneo just to be able to be
Learn from
trained
Coach
or
Tab.
be mentored by Coach Tab and experience the winning culture. I can finally call myself a champion now. So despite not having a good game, Dave was also crucial for us all throughout the season. Crucial for Ateneo, and definitely Ateneo will miss his services. And I think Maui, you mentioned before this podcast, meron na atang offers for Dave sa Korea, tama ba? O
Meron na.
Korea ba? O Japan?
Ang initial report kay Davis is going to Suwon KT Sonic Boom sa KBL. I think
KBL.
he's going to announce within the next few days that I think that he's going there for a 2-year contract. So that's all the hard work pays off. I think David Alfonso had really big shoes to fill coming from 3rd Ravenna as the star player nung last team. In even Dwight Ramos not suiting up for Ateneo anymore. But he's been very inconsistent this season. But to me, they won the championship. So I don't really. That's all that matters to me. They won the championship. David Alfonso went back to Ateneo. They made the finals his first year, and they won the championship, coming off heartbreaking loss just 5 months ago. So kudos to him for leading Ateneo. But yeah, I think just to add to Gab's monologue about Ange Kwame, Ange Kwame will have knee surgery to address yung ACL and MCL injury niya. So he put off having those surgeries to be able to play for Ateneo and the national team. So imagine the sacrifice of the real MVP for me. I called him as my season 85 MVP, Ange Kwame. Hats off to that guy. I think one of the greats of Ateneo and the UAAP of all time.
Yeah, definitely an Ateneo and UAAP legend. Arguably one of the best ever foreign student athletes in the UAAP. Or in the Philippines, actually. Okay, Gab, you're smiling. Meron ka ba bang sasabihin before we close?
I just saw a tweet na kasi na a great gesture by the Ateneo Blue Eagles of taking the technical foul so that Zave Lucero can shoot the free throws.
Hindi totoo.
I don't to be fair.
Kudos to Coach Gold.
Kahit hindi planado.
Kudos kay Coach Gold na naisip niya on the spot. Di ba?
Oh,
Yeah,
actually.
actually.
Galing.
Pero hindi
It's very funny.
Imagine if the game was closer. Tapos ginawa ng Ateneo yon, kung 4-point game lang, di ba? You never know.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Tsaka for Zave, nakabihis na siya, di ba? Like, ready siya. Ready rin siya.
Yeah.
Okay. Sige, so I think that's pretty much it for our Game 3 recap of the finals between Ateneo and UP. Again, as I mentioned, the championship is back in the Ateneo side of Katipunan.
The blue side.
The blue side of Katipunan.
But before we go,
kudos sa
Sam,
Ateneo.
yung
Yeah, go ahead. Gab.
Maui, may sabihin ka?
Yeah, sinabi ko lang actually na 5 months. 5 months lang na-enjoy ng other side of Katipunan yung championship. It's actually just a trivia. No, just a trivia. Posted by Pong Ducanes again. It's the shortest tenured champion in UAAP history, I think, this UP team. Kasi first time lang to na may season in two seasons.
Two seasons in 1 year.
They were trying to
That's a
make
good
history
point.
by being a champion twice in one season. Two for
Champion
2022 actually ang nilalaban ng UP.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So actually that's a good point, no, Maui. But I think we can say na for 2022 there are two champions, Ateneo and
Yeah,
UP.
of course.
To be fair
Of
naman,
course.
like we have two champions this year. Hindi naman nobody owns that championship in 2022.
Saka
They both
tied.
deserve it.
They're 5-5, I think. In all the
Yeah,
games.
they are.
Isa sa games.
They're 5-5.
Sa 2 seasons. So it's really
Baliw.
a tied contest for me. Champion nga talaga yung dalawa. Give credit to you.
Ganito na lang. Let's just say, sige, go ahead, Gab. May sasabihin.
And on that note, I did wanna say this maybe as parting words for our podcast. I do want to give a shout out to both Ateneo and UP because I was thinking this right after game because it is such a pleasure to watch these two teams play basketball. And I was telling my dad, these two teams have probably given us probably the peak of basketball in the Philippines. You can't find it anywhere but in the UAAP. It's just amazing how college basketball is such a treat to watch. As in highest level, better than even the PBA. You can say that okay, you can say that the players maybe are not as talented as in the PBA. Of course, the PBA are pros, but pare, real talk, man. Real talk.
Yeah.
Wala akong sinasabi.
High
Gab.
level of
Wala akong
basketball.
sinasabi.
Hindi, pare. It's high level of basketball. High level of basketball talaga.
Competition, yeah.
Even
best
between the two coaches. Yeah. And even between the two coaches, pare. And you know na, yes, sometimes may pikunan, may physicality sa game, extracurricular activities happen. But at the end of the day, these two coaches, these two teams respect the hell out of each other. It's just good competition. It's not like the old Ateneo LaSalle rivalries where there was really some bitterness between the two schools and the two teams. These two teams, Ateneo and UP, feel like that they just respect the hell out of it. Of course, there will be toxic fans and toxic people on both sides of the fence. But but overall, pare, sobrang nag-enjoy ako. 5-5 sila this 2022, and honestly, it's the best basketball that the Philippines has to offer. Itong
Coach Tab.
Ateneo versus UP.
Coach Tab said, more to come, Ateneo UP, definitely. So, I'm excited also.
Definitely. Actually, pare, kung ako, mag-Ateneo UP lang tayo, siguro every month yung maglaro lang sila for the next year. Goods na ako doon. I would pay thousands of pesos to watch that. It's just galing, pare. Sobrang galing. Ako, sobrang thankful ako for this year. As we end this year, it's almost the end of 2022. I'm just so thankful that we get to watch such good basketball here in the Philippines.
Yeah, just to add to Gab, I'm hoping for more Ateneo UPs. I'm hoping for season 85 was really a great season for me. Yung competition was different than previous years. Most teams remained relevant throughout the whole season. And especially Ateneo and UP and the surprise of NU, the surprise of UE, Jerome Lastimosa having his last dance, or maybe not. Maybe Jerome decides to play for next year like Spencer. Carl Tamayo is also mumming he's not sure if it's gonna come back. But hopefully, I'm hoping season 86 will be just as good or even better than season 85. UAAPs, the pinnacle of basketball in the Philippines for me is really UAAP basketball.
Yes, definitely is.
This season proved
Definitely is.
There you go. There you have it, guys. That's the end of our podcast. Good points by both Maui and Gab. Congratulations once again to the Ateneo Blue Eagles men's basketball team for winning season 85, and also to the UP men's basketball team for being champions also of the year for winning season 84. As mentioned by Maui and Gab, I think what's great about this is champion ang Ateneo ngayon, champion UP earlier this year, first half of the year. Pero alam mo, ang tunay na champion, ang mga fans ng Katipunan. Panalo, champion, both Katipunan teams this year. We owned the UAAP. Both teams went to the finals. And panalo din lagi, as always, are the fans of the game. It's just a pleasure to watch these two teams battle it out. This started out lopsided, but it ended in as expected in a wild, crazy finish. So
we didn't ask for more.
As mentioned by Maui, we want more. We want to see more of these games, and we're hoping to see more competitive, crazy games like this in the succeeding seasons. We will continue to talk more about the UAAP in this podcast, even though season 85 is done. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what we should be talking about while we wait one whole year for the next season of men's basketball, season 86. What do you want us to talk about? We'll try to talk about them and continue to produce more UAAP content for the fans out there. But thank you. Thank you for everyone who listened to the podcast all throughout the season. It, as mentioned by Maui again, like it was one of the best seasons ever, probably. But that's it. Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed that season and this podcast. And don't forget to share with your friends also. See you next time. Bye.